In this video, I'm going to give you some tips for solving the ALEKS problem called Setting Up the Math for a One-Step Quantitative Problem. This is a unit conversion problem, but it is a little bit tricky because ALEKS is providing you with more information than you need to solve this problem. So to give you some advice, I'm going to have you start by focusing on the numbers and the units that are provided to you in this problem. Don't focus on any number that's being repeated, like 40 gauge. I don't need to pay attention to it twice, just once. Also, don't even worry about the story associated with this problem yet. Just focus on the numbers. And really, I don't even really want you to focus on the numbers. I want you to focus on the units of each one of these numbers. One of the numbers in your problem is going to have more than one unit associated with it. Like this has one unit, the unit is gauge. This has one unit, the unit is millimeters. This number has two units, grams and kilometers. This number has one unit, grams. I want you to begin by focusing just on the numbers that have more than one unit. Those numbers are your conversion factors, and that should be the first thing that you're looking for in this problem. Find the conversion factors. Now, most of these problems on ALEKS only have one conversion factor in them, but I know there's at least one of this problem on ALEKS that has two conversion factors in it, and that makes the problem even trickier, but I know you can do it. So find the conversion factors, and I'm just going to make a note of that, 44 grams per kilometer. You are going to need to use this conversion factor to solve the problem. And if you're looking at a version of the problem that has two conversion factors in it, you're going to need to use one of those conversion factors, but not both of them. So part of your challenge at this point is figuring out which conversion factor you need and which one is just there to confuse you. So we know that we're going to use the 44.5 grams per kilometer conversion factor. That means that this problem is either going to give us a number in units of grams and ask us to convert it into kilometers, or it is going to give us a number in units of kilometers and ask us to convert it into grams. And we've got a couple of ways that we can figure out which one of these conversions we're going to be doing. Probably the easiest way is to look at the answer that ALEKS is looking for. ALEKS is looking for, in this problem, is looking for an answer that has a unit of length. Units of length, length is measured in units of meters, centimeters, millimeters, kilometers. And that is my big tip, that ALEKS is asking me to do a gram to kilometer conversion. Again, how did I come up with all that information? Well, number one, it's a unit conversion problem. I only have one conversion factor in the problem. I know that I'm going to be using it. The units of my conversion factor are gram and kilometer. And I can take a look at what ALEKS is asking of me to see what I am trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out kilometers, which means that ALEKS wants me to convert some number of grams into kilometers to solve this problem. Now, if you're looking at one of the problems that has two conversion factors, those two conversion factors are going to have four entirely different units, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to look at what is ALEKS asking you to figure out to help you determine what conversion factor you're trying to use. Okay, so now that I know that ALEKS is asking me to do this conversion factor, I know that ALEKS is going to provide me with some number in units of grams, and my job is to calculate or to convert that number into kilometers. Now I'm going to go back to the problem, to these numbers that I have highlighted that I haven't used yet, and figure out which one of them is grams. No, no, yes. So this here is the number that I need to use, 584 grams. 40 gauge is unnecessary information, just there to confuse me, and 0.08 millimeters also just there to confuse me. And I don't even need to read the story in this problem if I don't want to, because I know what I need to do. So I have been given the quantity 584 grams, and I need to convert that number into kilometers, which means I need a conversion factor that has grams in the denominator so that those units can cancel, and I want kilometers up on top. My conversion factor is 44.5 grams per kilometer. That means if I write it in a more traditional format, 44 grams per 1 kilometer. This is not appropriate to plug into this particular conversion factor because the units are not matching up. And so I need a conversion factor that has kilometers on top. This version of the problem has kilometers on the bottom. In order for me to make this into a useful format, I'm just going to flip that conversion factor upside down. Not only am I flipping the units, but I'm also flipping the numbers as well. 44.5 belongs with grams, so it needs to stay with grams. In this format, kilometers is on top, which is exactly where I want it, and that's what I'm going to be plugging into my conversion factor. Now notice that ALEKS is, if I erase some of this stuff that I've scribbled over, ALEKS is not asking us to carry out this calculation. It says set the math up, but don't do any of it. Just leave your answer as a math expression. Make sure that you are including all of the unit symbols. So the answer that you're going to enter is 584 grams times, and you can use this symbol if you want, or yeah, you can use this, you can use that symbol if you want, and then a fraction, 1 kilometer, 44.5 grams, and that is the solution to the problem. Again, you're not being asked to actually carry out the math.